Hello, hello, it's me, Haley Whipjack. As I work on a few different, very long videos at the same time, let me offer you this to tide you over and so you don't forget I exist. This video has been available to my patrons on my Patreon since last September, but I would be remiss to not allow every shrekspert the chance to prepare for Shrek 5. Let's make some bingo boards. And hey, here's some other things my patrons have been able to see.
Oh boy, I hope he draws me pretty. Let's talk about Bill and Ford for a minute.
I tell you, I'm just charming style.
He's charming, Stein.
Realistically, and we gotta be realistic here. I'm trying to make my case. I love the concept of an arch nemesis, but I've gotta have superpowers to pull it off emotionally.
Sorry, Minnesota. The common loon? This duck, this glorified duck, looks like a demon. Putting your bird in the F tier. Apparently waterfowl are not allowed. I am dreaming that I have a hat. It looks very good on me. You are also there. You also have a hat. It looks very good on you, too. Because every time I say anything about him on TikTok specifically, they all tell me how they want that lizard man carnally. You spot Ford adding to the bowl by cracking 2 eggs at a time in each hand. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. You keep that to yourself that he's doing it.
Imagine these people, all of these people, again, not Reaper, he's down in Talon's base. You know, Reaper's down in Talon's base, but everybody else having a mandatory team bonding game night at the insistence of the gorilla.
Wow. Good stuff. Now for the Shrek.
It has been so long since I have talked about Shrek on the internet, which feels wrong. Feels very wrong, actually. It's been some time since I watched all of Shrek in like 11 days. It really does feel like such a fever dream. Like it feels like it did not happen at all. That was such a strange time in my life. I had just quit an insanely toxic teaching job. Like I was sick for months with no break. I was sick because of this job. I can't explain to you how much that job hurt me. And I quit that job and immediately made this video about Shrek when I should have been moving states to move to here right now. And I'm about to move again. Not states this time. Thank the Lord. But this whole setup will be looking very different very soon. So it only feels right that I'm going back to Shrek. Shrek is here for me during my transitional times. And as you may be able to see from this board, today we're making Shrek 5 bingo. I have a list of many predictions for Shrek 5 that I'm going to put in this bingo board. Now, the thing about Shrek 5 is that we don't have a premise for it yet. We don't have a trailer for it yet. We have nothing. We have nothing at all. So all of my predictions are simply going to be based off of a lot that I know about the Shrek franchise. I know I said it was a long time ago that I slammed all of Shrek. I remember all of it, I think. I still get mad about the Puss in Boots TV show. I do. Also, Sparrow is in here with us today. Sparrow, would you like to say hi to the camera? Not really. Only one of my cats loves the spotlight. Sparrow just likes being around people. That's different. She does not want to be on camera. But Hermes didn't want to hang out with me today. And that's fine. So let's talk about Shrek. Shrek 5, which is happening. Can be so real. I didn't think it was going to happen. When I made that video, when I made the big long video about all of Shrek, saying let's get ready for Shrek 5, I thought it was a goof. I thought we were all just goofing together, just having a joke. They're making the movie. If you have your own predictions for Shrek 5, I would love to hear them. Genuinely. I think it's a very fun place to speculate because we know nothing, but there is so much to pull from. It's a very fun place to be. So let's put some predictions up on the board, starting with our free space, be yourself. If this is not the core central message of the movie, then they haven't made a Shrek. then they haven't made a Shrek. They might as well not put a big green guy in the movie. That is how vital it is that be yourself, accept others, love yourself for who you are is right at the center of it. I will freak out if they missed this. And that's why she's our free space. It has to be there. Everything else does not have to be there. But I will be shocked. I will be absolutely shocked, appalled, confused if we do not have teenage ogre babies. If Shrek and Fiona's 3 babies are not teenagers. I will be so bamboozled because this feels like 100% the move to me. And I think part of that is just because it's been so long and movies like to age their characters up with the audience so that it still feels relatable. Frozen even kind of did this, like with Olaf. Like they made Olaf a little more mature and coherent in Frozen 2 because he kind of aged up with the audience, with the kids. And it's been, what was it? Shrek 4 was 2011, I believe. So it'll have been 15 years. Yes, they should age those babies up to teenagers. Also, it introduces a lot more levels of conflict if they are not infants. Infants can create conflict, of course, but really only in annoying, convenient for the story ways. Teenagers create conflict in different annoying ways. My next prediction is unlikely if we don't get aged up triplets, but I think it's going to have a found footage intro of the ogre babies growing up. Like a collection of home movies shot by Shrek and Fiona where you get to see the babies age through their different stages because of how I believe we're skipping right to teenage years. And that feels like such a way to start a Shrek movie. That feels so correct. You make it a montage, you set it over a fun song, and you have Shrek and Fiona really be into camcorder. They can't have smartphones. They can't. I know they're probably gonna. They can't. I'm just randomly placing these on the board, by the way, except for, of course, the free space. Yeah. Teenage ogre triplets, whatever. I think the Dronkies are still gonna be babies. I think we're gonna have like full adult shaped triplets, and the Dronkies are still going to be baby shaped. And I think that for multiple reasons. I think that because they make great little mascots, and I also think that because it's very funny. It's very funny to have Shrek's kids be teenagers speaking in complete sentences, having drama, having falling outs with each other and their family and their friends. And Donkey's kids are still like chewing on wires. Rolling around on the floor. I think that's so good. I did not make any predictions about whether or not Eclair, the baby donkey who showed up once and then vanished forever, that one that was like more dragon than the rest, I have no predictions about whether or not Eclair is going to show up. I think either Eclair shows up and then I get to go, oh my God, it's Eclair! Or Eclair doesn't show up and I don't think about it until the movie's over and I've thought about everything else about the movie and then my brain skips to, oh my God, Eclair wasn't there. Still. Not an interesting prediction to me either way. As far as I'm aware and as far as makes sense to me, Shrek 5 will be taking place after everything else in the timeline, right? After everything that we went through together to get ready for Shrek 5, back when we became Shreksperts a year and a half ago. I think this will be happening after all of that. I don't think it would make a lot of sense to take place anywhere else. So I think Puss in Boots and Katie Softpaws are going to get engaged again. If you'll recall from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, 2022, I think, they were ex-fiancés. Devastating. They basically left each other at the altar. A very funny relationship to have with somebody. But they really reconciled. I think they're bringing Perito as well on the boat that they took back to Far, Far Away. And I think they're going to get engaged again. I think it's going to happen in like a big climactic part of the movie. They're going to be like in the middle of a fight scene or something. And Puss in Boots is going to be like, by the way, do you want to get married? Do you want to try again and get married? And Katie Softpaws is going to yell at him for asking in the middle of all of this. But they will be engaged. There is obviously going to be a montage in Shrek 5, because if there's not a montage in Shrek 5, it simply won't be a Shrek movie. They love their montages. My bet is minimum 3 montages. I nearly guarantee it. So I can't just put a montage square up. That's absolutely cheating. I am instead doing a specific type of montage, which is the sad travel montage. I think we're going to get some sad music, and we're going to see everybody traveling either in different directions or traveling away from a situation that was better for them. Like they've been sent away, they've been banished, they're going towards something that's worse. I don't know. Sad music, travel montage. That's my called shot. Related to the montage talk, I want a Bruno Mars song in it, and I want a Bruno Mars song in it now. Why has there not been a Bruno Mars song in a Shrek movie before? Bruno Mars was making music in 2011, surely. Or maybe he wasn't. I don't remember. When was Uptown Funk? Like 2015? He just missed the boat in that case. I want him in this movie. I need him in this movie. He's drowning in gambling debt in Vegas right now. You wouldn't even have to offer him that much money for the rights to Uptown Funk or literally any other Bruno Mars song. I need him in this movie. Speaking of other things I need in the movie, I need Arthur in it. I need him in it. If we are going off of, it takes place after Puss in Boots: The Last Wish 2022, they're going to Far, Far Away. That's where Puss in Boots and Kitty Softpaws and Perito arrived at the end of that movie with the big swell of Shrek music. I'm I haven't watched the movie since I made my big Shrek video, and I'm getting so excited just remembering how that movie ended. Just them going back to Far, Far Away like that. They're at Far, Far Away. Do you know who's in charge of Far, Far Away right now? King Arthur. I would like to see him. I would like to see him all grown up. I would like to see him confidently running a kingdom. I think it's been long enough. It has been, 20 years almost? I don't remember when Shrek the Third came out. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it was 2007? I want to say 2007. I want to see him old, incompetent. It's Justin Timberlake who voiced him, right? You could absolutely get him for that role. Absolutely get him for that. What else is he doing? Voicing Branch? That can't be taking up all of his time. King Arthur cameo. I don't need him to be an important character. I don't need him to be plot relevant. I don't need any of that. I just want them to acknowledge that he exists. I think we're getting a brand new villain again. I think Shrek properties kind of can't help themselves. They don't do recurring villains very often or very well. They like to introduce a new guy in every single project, and that's this project's bad guy. Think about Rumpelstiltskin in Shrek Forever After. Came out of absolutely nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. The only recurring villain I can think of at all in the Shrek franchise is Prince Charming. That's it. And he was in 2 movies. He was in the second one and he was in the third one. Puss in Boots doesn't have any recurring villains. Farquaad, he showed up in Shrek 4D. My memory for Shrek, it turns out, is fantastic. Guys, I forget everything all the time. Why am I remembering the details of Shrek 4D? This one does feel kind of like cheating just because I'm so confident about it. But I'm putting it on there anyway. I think Shrek and Fiona are having marital problems. I think it's going to be boring that they're having marital problems. I think it's going to be obvious. I think it's so easy for that to be a source of conflict. It's just Shrek and Fiona are having a disagreement. They're refusing to understand each other. But I think they're going to be doing it anyway. Shrek and Fiona having marital problems. On the flip side of that, Dragon and Donkey are having no marital problems ever. They have a perfect relationship. They're never fighting. They're eternal babies. Never cause any problems between them. They are still deeply in love. Deeply in love. They have never even questioned their commitment to each other. They're the perfect couple, no issues at all. That's another, I would be so bamboozled if this was not the case. Shrek 4 never matters. I feel so strongly that they will not even reference the events of Shrek Forever After. And I think that because who on earth remembers what happened in Shrek Forever After 2011 except for me? But I'm kind of a special fringe case here. Nobody else is required to remember what happened in Shrek Forever After 2011, just me. And I don't think they're going to be pulling from a movie that truly nobody remembers the actual plot to. Any references they do make aren't going to hit. I was going to say I love Shrek 4. I don't. I remember Shrek 4. But it doesn't carry the same sort of weight and fondness and nostalgia that Shrek 1 and 2 do and will for the majority of audiences. I don't think Shrek 4 will matter at all. And quite frankly, the events of Shrek 4 didn't matter by the end of Shrek 4. So maybe they'll surprise me. Maybe we will have Rumpelstiltskin still trapped in that little cage he was in all those shorts. Do you remember that? They had him in a cage in the swamp for like a long time in them shorts. Maybe he's like live-in babysitting for the triplets. I don't know. I don't think he will be. I think he will have mysteriously vanished off screen. And as well as Jane Lynch Ogre and Cookie and all of them. John Hamm Ogre as well. Gone with the wind, I say. This one just says, she, her, big bad wolf. And why shouldn't they? She's an icon. This one might be the least likely on the whole list. I don't think they're gonna she, her, the big bad wolf. But I think they should. I want them to. Is that so much to ask? Do I want any of the Shrek characters to say the word woke on screen? Of course I don't. Do I think Donkey is going to say the word woke on screen? Unfortunately, yes. It will hurt me. It will cause unbelievable psychic damage to me. I can just hear it. I can hear Eddie Murphy as Donkey calling something woke in a derogatory fashion. I can hear it. I can hear it so clearly. Shrek can't understand Felicia. If you have forgotten, Felicia is the name of the girl triplet. It's Felicia, Ferguson, Farkle. I think I'm gonna move forward believing that's their names because I think I'm right. I can't think of something that movies about dads like to do more than create strife between fathers and their teenage daughters. And you'll recall, I think they're going to be teenagers. I think Shrek is going to be in a constant fight with his 15 or 16-year-old ogre daughter. And they just can't see eye to eye. I do think that's going to be the central conflict. Like emotional conflict of the movie. I don't think Felicia's going to be like the bad guy. But I think the central emotional conflict is going to be Shrek doesn't understand his daughter. And I think that's really boring. I do still think that's what it's going to be. This is another Shrek franchise classic. I think the villain's going to be teeny tiny. I think they're going to be itty bitty teeny tiny. Is it probably going to be a teeny tiny man? Maybe an effeminate man? Maybe, going by the pattern of every other goddamn Shrek villain. Maybe we'll get a lady this time. Wouldn't that be so exciting? The only lady villain we've ever had in Shrek is fucking the fairy godmother. And she was way too cool to just be a villain. And she wasn't teeny tiny. I think it's less transgressive, maybe, to have your villains be teeny tiny if they're ladies. Because ladies are supposed to be teeny tiny. And we can't make fun of them for being teeny tiny if they're a lady. No, it's only funny when it's a man. They're not supposed to be short. It's... some of the things at the center of this franchise. Anyway, if they want to surprise me or if they want to break any mold, this would be probably the easiest mold to break. Just make a big villain. But it's such an easy well for jokes, isn't it? It's just such a classic. The more I sit here and think about it, the more I could be convinced they are going to resurrect Lord Farquaad. Because why are you even making a Shrek 5? It's to just capitalize off of everybody's love for Shrek, but specifically the love they have for the Shrek movies they remember and actually enjoyed, which would be Shrek 1 and 2. And they've sort of already milked Fairy Godmother and Prince Charming in other movies. Oh, they might resurrect Farquaad. Man, I hope they don't really mess up their canon. Is all, you know? We're gonna uncanonize Shrek 4D, ruin my life. I've already talked about my predictions for Felicia, the girl triplet. Here's my prediction for the other two, is that they're going to be entirely interchangeable. I think Fergus and Farkle are going to be the same guy twice. I think they're going to be exclusively comedic relief. I don't think they're going to have a single defining character trait between the two of them. Interchangeable, Fergus and Farkle. Think Crash and Eddie from the Ice Age franchise. Just the same guy twice. I'm 100% seeing Crash and Eddie in their future. Because the other thing is there's so many goddamn characters that they have to juggle before introducing a new antagonist in Shrek 5. There's our like core group, right? There's Shrek, Puss in Boots, Donkey, Fiona, which I think it would really behoove them to focus in on that group. But I think that they won't because, again, I am pretty sure they're going to have Shrek fighting with his teenage daughter. And also you want to have Dragon in there and the Dronkies because they make for such good little mascots and trailer fodder and merch. Kitty Softpaws is there and it's going to be kind of hard to justify her not tagging along to wherever Puss in Boots goes. Like there's no real reason that she can't be doing whatever he's doing, you know? They're gonna have so much to juggle. I don't think they're gonna have time to develop these two boys at all, much less as separate people, you know? Same guy twice. Jax Films cameo. I don't think they're gonna do it, but I think that's stupid. I think they should. I'm not going to kid myself. I'm not getting a fucking cameo in a Shrek movie, no matter how long of a video I make about them. I know this. Jax Films should. Jax Films should. Either Jax Films should or, oh my God, I can't remember his name. Ooh, that kills. CG3 maybe? The guy who does the retolds. It coordinates the retolds where they get a group of animators together to redo the entire movie. They've done Shrek 2 now. Shrek 1 and 2. Either he should get some sort of cameo, which that's not going to happen. And I know that's not going to happen, even though there's no bigger fan of Shrek in the world. Or Jax Films should. Jax Films cameo. At the very least, Jax Films at the world premiere. It has to happen. It has to happen. It won't. It has to. I just want one reference to the Adventures of Puss in Boots. Is that so much to ask? I spent 28 hours watching that show, taking notes about that show, getting emotionally invested in that show. For nothing. For nothing. I want one reference to San Lorenzo. I don't need it to be relevant in any way. I just want Puss in Boots to say the word San Lorenzo. Please, please, please. I know he won't name drop a character. We're not going to get him reminiscing on Dulcinea or Artifius or fucking Cleeville. Why do I remember these characters' names? I only have so much room in my brain. I cannot be devoting any of it to the Duchess and Artifius's weird relationship. I need that space for something else. I would do most anything to feel validated. in the time spent with this TV show, just say the word San Lorenzo, please. This is just a trope that I don't like, but fully expect to be present in pretty much any or most Shrek medias, and that's a reluctant or a forced makeover. Some characters forced to go through an aesthetic change, whether to blend in or make somebody else feel better, make your mom feel like you're trying, something like that, whether it is by magical means or physical means. Reluctant makeover. This also fits in well with me assuming Felicia is going to be at the heart of the conflict. Maybe I'm just like thinking too much about other animated movies that cannot help themselves. Maybe Shrek will be able to help itself. That would be great. Someone gets set on fire. This is just another little thing about the Shrek franchise that I remember very clearly, which is that so often there are scenes of everything falling apart with a fire happening, whether someone is set on fire, something else is set on fire. I'm calling that somebody gets set on fire. I think it'll happen just as a comedic beat because everything's going wrong, like Donkey's tail gets set on fire or something. Someone gets set on fire. Peter Pan spotted. I can't recall Peter Pan being in any of the other movies. And even if he was, it literally doesn't matter because Rumpelstiltskin is a very minor but named and voiced character in Shrek the Third who is completely unrelated to Rumpelstiltskin, the antagonist in Shrek Forever After 2011. So I think even if Peter Pan did show up, he could be here again as an actual character. He doesn't even have to be an actual character. I just want him to be spotted. But in my dream, in my heart, in my dream of dreams, my heart of hearts, Peter Pan's the antagonist. That's right. In my dream of dreams, heart of hearts, I have what I want the plot of this movie to be. I know what I want it to be. And I want it to be that Peter Pan is the antagonist, and it's the draw of eternal youth that he fucking kidnaps the triplets, except he doesn't kidnap them, right? He asks them to come with, and they do. Whether it's just Felicia, whether it's just Fergus and Farkle, whether it's all three, that idea of never growing up as the conceit for a movie that... Listen... What age were you when you fell in love with the Shrek franchise, if you ever fell in love with the Shrek franchise? Because Shrek 1 came out in 2001, okay? It's been a bit. And the fact that they are reviving this franchise, that they're going back to that well that has long since run dry, I think making the core of that being about the draw of youth and nostalgia and nothing ever having to change and you never having to challenge yourself for these changing dynamics and roles in your life would hit on such a meta level. And I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to do it. I think it makes so much sense. I think it makes so much sense. Even if he's not like the bad guy, maybe Captain Hook. No, because Captain Hook was in the movies before, wasn't he? Wasn't he? He was the one on the piano. So it can't be Captain Hook because we love that guy. And he learned how to love himself and how to play the piano for fun. So I think it's Peter Pan. Am I too Once Upon a Time brained? Am I too Once Upon a Time for this? I can't be too Once Upon a Time for it. It's also fairy tales. It's just also fairy tales. This one's really dumb, but I want to see a dog that's just a dog. That's just like a dog, and he acts like a regular dog, and he just barks and he sniffs and he doesn't talk. And I just want him there. I don't know. I don't know why I want that, but I think just with like Puss in Boots and Kitty Softpaws and like the Three Blind Mice and all that, and Donkey, I don't know. I want them to interact with a dog that's just a dog. I don't want them to treat it like it's weird to be like, hey, what's up with this dude? Why isn't he talking to me? I don't want any of that. I just want to see a regular dog. I wish I had more of an explanation, and I just don't. Goldilocks Ex Machina. I think we can all agree that Goldilocks in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish 2022 was amazing. And I think we can also agree that Puss in Boots: The Last Wish 2022 had an amazing critical and audience reception that they're going to want to take advantage of, that they're going to want to capitalize on. For the same reason that I think we're not going to get references to Shrek 4, I do think we're going to get a decent amount of references to The Last Wish because people liked that movie and they're going to be excited to hear about it. And Florence Pugh is such an it girl. I think she's going to come in. I don't think she's going to be in a lot of the movie. Again, there's a lot of characters. There's a lot of characters to deal with. And they left Goldilocks on like a very different part of the world. But I do think we'll get her in like a final fight. You know, like she'll just show up for a little bit for like Perito's emotional support, I guess. He really liked Goldilocks and the Bears. Goldilocks Ex Machina. I think it'd be fun. I want a flying pirate ship. I want it. I don't know why there hasn't been one in Shrek proper yet. And you want to know where there was a flying pirate ship? The Adventures of Puss in Boots. The Adventures of Puss in Boots had sky pirates in it. And I don't even need that to be my reference to Adventures in Puss in Boots. They don't have to. Puss in Boots doesn't even have to be like, I've been on one of these before. He doesn't have to say that. That's fine. I just want to see a big boat flying around. That's all. That's all I want. I think they're so neat. I think there's nothing better than a big ocean boat in the sky. It's good every time. Every single time. It's good. It works every single time. And it's the best every single time that it happens. And I want to see it in Shrek. I want him to be on a flying pirate ship. And I also, it's because I want it to be Peter Pan really bad. It's because I really want it to be Peter Pan and Neverland really bad. And flying pirate ship would work so well with that. Even if it's not like, I don't know, if it's not, it doesn't even have to be important that they're on a flying pirate ship. Again, am I too Once Upon a Time brained? Have I been infected? Have I been corrupted somehow? Why is it in my head so much? And there it is, my completed Shrek 5 bingo board. There's so few ways on there to make a bingo that are like good for me the whole way down. Let me try. What's the best bingo for me? 1 second. I think my best bingo, if there's just like one, if like I can only get one line of these things, I think it's this one. I think it's Puss and Kitty Are Engaged, Teenage Ogres, King Arthur cameo, a flying pirate ship, and we see her the big bad wolf. I don't think any one of those is something where I'd look at it and go, ugh, like I would with so many of these other things. You know, like I really want to get a Bruno Mars, like really, really bad. But like, do I want Bruno Mars at the expense of Donkey saying woke? Not really. Like the straight down with Bruno Mars also isn't like bad for me, but interchangeable Ferguson Farkle is so lazy. I am 100% convinced it's going to be true, but it is so lazy. I literally think that's the best one for me. Like I'm looking at all the other ones and there's something in them where I'm like, ugh. Of course they would do that. Anyway, what's your best bingo on this board? Do you think any of my predictions are wildly off? Did I say anything in here that made you go, that's not Shrek? Shrek would never. Or are you 100% with me? Also, do you remember this much about the Shrek franchise? Please say yes. Please say yes. Once we get a trailer for Shrek 5, I'm sure that all of this will be proven inaccurate in its entirety, and that's okay. I don't need to be right. I like being right. I don't need to be right. I hope you enjoyed making a bingo board with me. Thank you so much for your support, for your time, for your efforts, for your attitudes, for your comments, for your love, if I may be so bold. I will see you next month. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for watching. Regularly scheduled content will be back soon, by which I of course mean long videos about whatever, whenever I can. A couple different sneak peeks of those are already available for my patrons. And hey, an extra thank you to my patrons. Patrons such as
Alcyon Hero, Annie G, Autumn Vector, Blardy Har, Britty, Chatty C, Felice R, Gwynrick, Joshua Caliendo, Catherine, Kazran, Rue, Zachary Fly, Zebulon, T, Aaliyah, Abilab, Addie, Aiden Cassis, the stronger Aiden, Aiden Sawood, notoriously low roller, Amy Ernst, AJ Holian, Akadoroku, Albandi Gyoza, Ali XX, Alex, Elsa Dragon, Amalia, Ams, Anemone, Anastasia, Anja, Anna Elise, Anna, Anthony Brantley, Annie Teller, Aoife, Archie Archertang, Argentum Inc., Ariana Collier, Artemis Nix, Ashley Figura, Aurelium, Avery Jack Thayer, Avery Little, Exerces, Azure, Babbity Kate, Bada Kid, Bartow Hawk 764, Beardic Knowledge, Becca B, Beck, Bed Knobs and Bookshelves, B, Bethany Draws Art, Billy Turner, Blake Stewart, Bobby Banner, Boop, Box of Cherubs, Bridget, Quinlivan, Brianna, Bud Walker, Burning Box, Caleb, Cam Achu, Cami, Carly Hartle, Caroline Odin, Cass Carter, Cat in a Skin Suit, Catherine Mullen, Celt Code, Cerulia, Chronic Escapee, Claire Online, Clara Oswald Fan 23, clever name, Connor Robinson, Connor Virgilius, Murphy, Corey Cat, Kuste, Christy, Dakota Lewanski, Dan, Danny B, Danny Sprague, Daniel Tefke, Danny, Decayed Robot in a Green Field, Declan Roof, Deals, Delaney, Devin Ellert, Devin Meskill, Digimaniac 33, Ditto, Drake, Eli X, Elysium, M, Embers, Emily V, Emma B, Emma Kennedy, Emma S, Emma Thomas, On B, On We, Aaron Rumsey, Ethan Figgins, Evan Kinsella, Evil, Scrump, Far Out Wonder, Fletcher Sanderson, Foolery with Nori, Funky Elvis Monkey, Finch R, Gabriel Learbag, Giant, Gracie Nonos, Graham Harrison, Gray Hawk, Green Walker, Gregory Wise, Gray Does Things and Stuff, Gun Gilf, Hale, Haley Walker, Hannah Anderson, Hannah Jeffrey, Harley, Harper Hex, Haven 2010, Heliotrope Fox, Henry, Hey, Meg's here, Houston Littlejohn, I Will Sing No Requiem, Idiot Lesbian, Infinity Girl, Insane in the Brain, I Ship Genfix, It's a Secret, Izzy Alexander, Jay, Jawman02, Jackie, Jacob Chisholm, James Summers, Jamie, Jasmine, Jackson DeBox, Jay Ocha, Jane, Jenny Fosnock, Jenny Waboom, Jericho, Jester of the Rat Court, Jet, G Dem, Jonah Levin, Jordan, Jubilee, Juliana Backer, Julie Stonky, Kate, Cavo Conrad, Kate Levia, Kathleen, Catherine Hill, Kate Larrabee, Kelsey Rodriguez, Kirby.jpg, Keverlyn C, King Panda, Kitty Kitty Large Paws, KJ, Kyle Richardson, Kyler James, Lady Dawn, Lady Jessica, Lady of Autumn, Lauren and Daisy, Lawson, Lee, Z's, Lemon, Lexi Scott, Libby, Lillian Carter, Lily, Lisa Spitalowitz, Lizzie Gale, Logan, Lucy Schneider, Luca M, Madeline Gentry, Megan Griffin, Maya Farinas, Manny S, Marie Isabel Lunaeus Adora, Marie, Martha, Mary R, Matt Dam, Matt Mobes, Max Roth, May, Meg, Michael West, Midnight Rose, $1 Million Cheese Wheel, Minnie's Mayhem, Mitchum and Ditchum, Mo Spooky, Molly Early, Molly McDade, Moon Noodles, Morgan Hansen, Morgan Tiley, Moss Rose, Murph, Wazir, Nick C, Nick the Brick, Noah, Non-Existent Mountains Theory, Non-Toxic Ivy, Nora H, Nick Snacks of Faye, Alethea, Olive, Oliver Ryburn, Omi Gracie, Onyx Claw, the Archdruid, Oren T, Oski the Bard, Paige, Papa Midnight, Pete Alexander, Philip Dameron, Fix, Phoenix, Pobledo, Poetic Cinema, Poorly Flushed Skeleton, Prettiest, Bearded Lady, Quintanamo Bay, Rainbow Namja, Rat Scratch, Rebecca Dawn, Reed Brody, Ren, Robin Eckberg, Roman Landslide, Rookie Baby, Rosemary Finch, Rowan C, Royal Reboot, Rat King, Ryan Hackovic, Sagely Sapphic, Samantha Altholes, Samara Kingston, Samson, Sarah Ann, Sarah Pritchard, Sarah Sunshine, Scoobert Dubert, Sea Bass of the Sea, Shakespeare, Shiraz Tibiani, Simon Says, Simran, Site 42, Sky McQuinley, Slime NB, Solodolo, Space Battery, Spartan Warrior, Spapples, Steen, Steph Gibson, Steph Bell, Stephen Gibson, Stevie U, Sun Bell, Sunny Solstice, Supercalifragilistic Existential Crisis, Severe E, Sydney, Silas S. Taylor Burke, Tex the Gentle Giant, The Light One, The Luciest Fruit, The Plum Satyr, The Sheriff, The Wizard C, The Wizard Sober, Thomas Guzzo, TJ Dash, Toby Springer, Tommy Peterson, Trizadale, Unusual Willie, Val Hallen, Vanessa Johnson, Vanillin Zunker, Vianame, V Sharp, Vunks, Walker Grant, Weather Waxes, Wes, Will Turner, Woody Daniel, Ren, X and Dinah, Yes Chef, Yizna, Ngve Leo, Zachary Wayman, Zane, Zaflordicus, and Zoe, as well as every other name you saw scrolling past. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you next time!